Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, which we do have quite a few new family members that have joined the fam, I'm Tatiana Anissa. I'm so happy that you're here. Happy that you clicked on this video. Happy that you joined the fam. So for today's video, you know your girl gotta come through for y'all. So I kind of have this thing, which I need to like not have this thing, but every morning I always check the Sephora app to see what is new. So one morning, like a couple days ago, this came really fast by the way, I checked out Sephora's what's new and I saw that Lord Mercier came out with another setting powder, okay? And they advertised this as talc-free. This is called the Ultra Blur Setting Powder. We are gonna test it out today. We are gonna compare it with the old powder. I do have that right here. We're gonna test it out. We're gonna see which one is better, which one is best for you, and all of that good stuff. So without further ado, let's get into the video. I look so weird right now. I literally only have foundation, a little bit of cream contour on, and that's it. My face is not set. I also have some concealer on. Like, I just look so incomplete. Everything just does not look good right now. But we're gonna get into a little bit of gist about this new powder from Laura Mercier. First off, the shade that I picked up is Translucent Honey. This is the shade that I use in the OG setting powder. I love this one because it's kind of like a banana-y kind of setting shade, and I really like it. So this says this is a talc-free loose setting powder that is infused with hyaluronic acid for comfortable up to 16-hour wear and an ultra blurring power. Okay, so there's also amino acid and silica powders as well, which help to create a soft focus effect on fine lines, pores, and imperfections. It does say it is for all skin types. You may ask, how is this any different from the other powder? Now, I will say right off the bat, one, it's talc-free, okay? I know a lot of people talc-free, like the talc, it's been a thing, okay? It's been a thing. However you feel about that is truly up to you. I do love the fact that they came out with a talc-free powder because there is a very vast percentage of the beauty community that is more cautious about not using talc, okay? And I personally really like that. I like that they came out with another powder, but they didn't just take their OG version and make it talc-free. They also made this an ultra blurring powder. And they also said, okay, talc-free, let's make it even more clean. Let's add some skincare benefits into this powder. So that's exactly what they did. Is it as good as the OG? Because we know the OG is a cult favorite. Everyone loves it. This retails for $44. This is very expensive for a setting powder. Like $44 is really expensive. I don't even think the OG one was $44. I feel like it was just $39, maybe $40. But this is $44 for this powder. So it does say it has total shine control and it has 0 flashbacks. So this is so cute. So this is what the powder looks like. I love this because it's so cute. It's like a creamy, like a kind of like a creamy nude cap, which I love. It's so cute. It's very, it does have different packaging so you can differentiate the two powders. All right, so we're gonna put this powder to the test. I have 2 puffs, so one side we're gonna use one powder and then the other we're gonna use the other side. So let's get into the new powder first because I'm really excited about this. Some of this in the cap. I will say the new powder shade is a little bit more darker, kind of. It kind of looks a little darker. I don't know if it's gonna focus. Newer powder looks a little bit more fine in the cap, and this one is just not as fine. It's a little bit more chunky like. I don't know if you guys could tell. So taking my puff, I'm gonna go into the new setting powder, and I'm gonna coat it. We're gonna just press this under the eye. Oh. Oh, hold on. Hold on. I may have went in with a little bit too much. But why do I feel like, it says it's a matte finish, but low-key kind of felt like it has like a little bit of like radiance to it. Oh, hold on. Okay, on camera, it looks really good. So I do have the powder on. I feel like it definitely does blur, but I feel like my texture, I feel like you can kind of see a little bit of my texture as well. I really don't know if I put too much powder on, but I mean, you should be able to put as much powder on as possible. But I definitely do think that this blurs, but I'm not too sure. I feel like there's a little bit of like tiny, tiny, tiny shimmer specks. It's not illuminating powder by any means, but I feel like there's just like a little tiny, tiny bit of like maybe it's pearls, like a little bit of pearl dust in here. I don't know, but I can see that. But I kind of see it's giving my skin a little bit of like tiny, tiny little sparkles. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know how I feel about that. So now taking my white puff, I'm gonna go into the OG setting powder. I kind of stopped using this one. I haven't used this one in a while, so. Why do I feel like I keep taking so much of this powder? It looks so much better. So this is the OG powder here. It looks really good, of course, like really nice. I don't think the OG powder has any like specks in it, like the new one. What I am gonna do is I am gonna take off this because a part of me feels like my concealer kind of dried. So I am gonna go ahead and apply concealer on this side and not let it sit because my concealer was sitting, so I feel like my concealer had time to dry. And I really wanna give this powder the benefit of the doubt. Going back into my black powder puff, into the new Laura Mercier setting powder. I'm not gonna take as much. I'm gonna tap off the excess on the back of my hand. Just gonna press this under the eye. Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, so this one does have like a little bit of, it's very subtle, but I can definitely see it when I put it under my eyes. I don't know if I like that. Oh, I was so excited for this. No! This powder is reminding me of the Hourglass setting powder, except I feel like the Hourglass setting powder is a lot more luminous. This one I feel like I can work with, but I'm not the biggest fan of having that, like any kind of specks. Kind of emphasizes texture, and I'm not liking that up close. Like I'm not liking it up close. I don't know if y'all could see. Okay, we are up close and personal now. So I don't know if y'all could see, but I can like really see my texture. Like really see my texture from that powder. Like also up close I can see my texture from this one, but it just looks better. I was so excited for the fact that there was no talc in the new Laura Mercier setting powder, but I don't know why they added that, like those tiny little specks of shimmer, because I feel like you can really see it. It kind of emphasizes texture just a little bit. I'm gonna finish up the rest of my makeup and then we're gonna come back for my final thoughts on this powder. Okay, so I finished up the rest of my makeup. If you guys are curious about what I'm wearing on my face, I will have everything listed down below in the description. I'm gonna remember and not forget this time. But let's get into my final thoughts on this new setting powder. So now that my makeup is finished, I feel like you can't even tell a difference between which side is which powder. It looks pretty in the end, but I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. Y'all know your girl gotta be transparent. It looks really, really good right now. It's just, I can tell that there is tiny little specks. I don't think it's a glitter by any means, but it is kind of like a tiny, tiny little specks. If you've tried the Hourglass powder, this is probably the closest comparison that I could give, or like the most similar. I know a lot of people love it. Me personally, I do not like the Hourglass setting powder because I feel like it's too metallic-y. Not really metallic, I feel like it's too luminizing, whereas this one is just like it, except it's not as illuminizing. I feel like it does still kind of emphasize a little bit of texture because it is a blurring matte finish powder. Of course, you guys know I'm going to continue to try out this powder, see how it is, see how it works with certain concealers, because I do know there's a ton of powders in my collection, whereas I can only use certain concealers. I know it's not the most ideal thing, but sometimes that's just what it is. Like I have setting powders that I can use any concealer, whereas there's some setting powders where it is a really matte, drying setting powder, I have to use a hydrating concealer. Like it's just kind of how it is. I feel like if you love the Laura Mercier setting powder and you're not the biggest fan of having talc in your makeup and you want to try out a setting powder from Laura Mercier that's similar, except it's kind of like has those little specks in it, then you might like this powder. If you love the Hourglass powder, you're gonna freaking love this Laura Mercier powder. Me personally, I feel like this is a powder I really do have to continue to use, continue to try, because, you know, I really want to give this powder a try. I feel like comparing this with the Hourglass, I would much prefer this setting powder. It's not as illuminizing as the Hourglass. Now, the OG setting powder, it's a cult favorite. Everyone loves it. It's a good setting powder. There's literally nothing wrong with this setting powder, but it's just the fact that this new one has those skincare benefits in there. It doesn't have talc in it, and it is still considered different because it's an ultra blurring. At the end of the day, let's zoom in. At the end of the day, you can't even really tell which powder is on which side of my face because it still looks good. I mean, the fact that I know which powder is on which side, I kind of prefer the OG. I really do hope this video was helpful. I really, really do. Let me know your thoughts down below. Are you gonna pick up this new setting powder? I feel like this is a setting powder you really do need to try for yourself to see if you're gonna like it, because it's not an illuminizing powder, but it does have like those little tiny sparkle specks throughout, and the OG one doesn't. It doesn't have talc, so like it's kind of like, oh my gosh, you gotta take the good with the bad with the setting powder if you really wanted a Laura Mercier setting powder with no talc in it, and you want these skincare benefits. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed today's video. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye guys.